The FBT from visvim has almost single-handedly defined the cult Japanese brand. Celebrity endorsements from the likes of John Mayer and Kanye West have pushed the brand and sneaker to the forefront. But before that, it was still a remarkably popular model amongst those familiar with Japanese streetwear. It was praised for a beautifully unique design, but also criticized for its eye-watering price, one that has climbed to some $700 US depending on the market that you're in. Nevertheless, people still buy it in droves. visvim's Hiroki Nakamura praised the traditional Native American moccasin in an essay a few years ago. The thinking served as the backbone of the FBT's creation. He said this: "At the age of 17, I was discovering the same functional benefits and beauty in the shoes that Native Americans had worn for centuries before me. They were unlike any shoes I had ever worn before, an upper that covered the foot and wrapped around the whole outsole area, made from natural tanned elk leather that was incredibly soft and well-aged from years of wear." From there, Hiroki added his own reinforced rubber sole. Adding protection was something Native Americans were accustomed to, especially those in the desert. But this modern change allowed Hiroki the necessary protection in the streets, and in doing so, a modern hybrid classic was created, one that has endured few cosmetic changes. When it first released, the visvim FBT yielded an unorthodox design. It was both contemporary and classic in its creation. A simple yet iconic upper matched with modern footwear manufacturing. This hybrid of old and new has become a sort of ongoing narrative for visvim. Nakamura's design path reflects back on several key moments. In his youth, he spent time in Alaska before cutting his teeth at Burton in Japan. His experience with tech fabrics from the snowboarding world led him to create unexpected connections in fashion design. Classic aesthetics that have stood the test of time are paired with modern advancements. Gore-Tex and artisanal indigo-dyed fabrics all made sense under visvim's appropriation. What makes visvim's interpretation so fascinating is the inspiration. Traditionally, sneakers revolve around sports: basketball, running, tennis, and the like. But the FBT is different. Its backbone was an everyday shoe, the moccasin. It was to serve the wearer as he ran across the plains during the summer, but also protecting their feet against frozen ground. Referring to Native American culture is a subtle nod that embodies efficiency and respect with the land. Nakamura has long maintained an interest in creating authentic products, spending extended periods of time with Aboriginals to gain the necessary insight to replicate these authentically. It's been 15 some odd years since the FBT first debuted. It has gone through several iterations, but remarkably, it still looks very similar to the early releases. Fans often lament that the quality has changed, or that the price has gone up since moving production to China. But in an interview with MAEKAN, Nakamura suggests that it is true that there's a frequent counterfeiting that happens in China, and you mostly only hear about that. But unfortunately, you do not hear much about the quality production that comes from China. There was a time we used to manufacture the FBT in Korea, and since then, the FBT has undergone several improvements in its actual construction, materials used, and production speed. Some big changes to the FBT have included newer pigment-free cow leather in the Chinese-made version. This offers greater breathability than the previous pig leather Korean version. Another notable change are the use of more durable PU soles as opposed to the original EVA soles. Regardless of where the shoes are produced, visvim prides itself on continual improvement. But has visvim become a victim of its own successes? The FBT has been a popular shoe for many seasons now. Official retailers often deal with hyped-up fuckboys waltzing in past the clothes and asking, "Where are the visvims?" The pros and cons of a popular icon are not lost on visvim. And while it's great that there's increased brand awareness, it's, as Nakamura puts it, a pity as we work hard to create every single piece in the collection. Still, visvim has been relatively immune to hype burnout. Unlike some of their other high-fashion counterparts, they have stood against the trend winds. The FBT, price aside, was never meant to compete with the Balenciagas and the Lanvins of the world. Instead, they understood how to play the long game. 15 years and virtually no changes. The FBT can and surely will ride it out.